So I'm going to talk through how to format dialogue and then also what you can add to your dialogue to kind of amp it up, to level it up. So first of all, I just want to go over the major dialogue rules, the key ideas you should take away about how to format your dialogue. So here's a big passage from All Quiet where Paul goes home and talks to his mom. And here are a few of the rules you should notice. So anytime you're using dialogue, you're putting quotation marks around everything that the character is saying. You're going to indicate who's speaking by using a dialogue tag, and that can sound differently in each one, but I asked my sister, she replied, I say calmly. You can use different dialogue tags, but anytime someone is speaking, you want to use a dialogue tag. Every time someone new speaks, you're going to start a new line and also indent. So as long as one person is talking, you can stay in the same line, but as soon as someone else starts speaking, then you're going to skip a line and you're going to indent. So sometimes when there's a lot of dialogue in the row, it looks kind of choppy because there's so many lines and indents and lines and indents. You're going to use commas for a couple of reasons. So one of the reasons you use commas is to separate the dialogue from the dialogue tag. So for instance, here I lay now, says she. So you're using a comma inside the quotation after the dialogue, between the dialogue and the dialogue tag, says she. But then you can also use commas to break up a sentence with a dialogue tag in the middle, like this sentence. So here I lie now, says she, and cry instead of being glad. So in this case, the dialogue tag is being used right in the middle of the sentence. But then the mom continues talking after that. And then periods, exclamation points, and question marks are going to go within the quotation marks, inside of them. And that's just sort of used in place of a comma. So those are the major dialogue rules. Now I'm going to let you know how you can kind of punch up your writing a little more. So one thing you can do to level up is vary the word choice in each dialogue tag. So if you feel yourself getting stuck on using said, he said, she said, think about all the different ways you could use, the different words you could use. So he advised, he boasted, he complained, he groaned, he grumbled. Or if your character's asking something, instead of he asked, you could say he wondered or he inquired. Another way you can level up your dialogue is by varying the position of the dialogue tag. So deciding where you're going to place the dialogue tag in the sentence. So I've given you some examples from All Quiet of different places you could put the dialogue tag. So you could put it before the dialogue. So for instance, he whispers, if you find my watch, send it home. Beaming with satisfaction, he stammers out, Hemostas is on his way. You can also choose to put it in the middle of the dialogue. So in this example, is there a what? He laughs. There's nothing to be had here. The person keeps on talking afterwards. Or, true, growls Cat. They always do. The last way you can do it, and I think the most common way to do the dialogue tag, is to put it after the dialogue. So, where to, Cat? I ask. Cut some wood, he says curtly to Hi. So, if you're looking to level up your writing, you can sort of play with where you're going to put the dialogue tag in the sentence. And one last way to level up your dialogue is to think about how to mix up dialogue, action, and description and reflection, because it could get sort of boring to have just dialogue, 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 one right after the other. So it makes more sense to kind of intersperse your reflections with that dialogue. So we're going to look at the scene where Paul goes home and talks to his mom. And Paul starts by saying, is she in bed? I ask my sister. She is ill, she replies. I go into her, give her my hand, and say as calmly as I can, here I am, mother. She lies still in the dim light. Then she asks anxiously, are you wounded? And I feel her searching glance. So what I like about this passage is that there's a lot of dialogue. It's kind of back and forth, all dialogue, but they also add action and description and reflection within it. So is she in bed? She is ill. Here I am, mother. Are you wounded? That's broken up by Paul's actions, where he decides to move. So between when he asks his sister where the mom is and him talking to the mom, he walks inside to see his mom. And then we also have a lot of nice description and reflection throughout. So we see how the mom is talking, or how Paul is talking, and he's talking calmly. And she's asking anxiously, and she has a searching glance. So there's really nice descriptive words, adjectives, that kind of give us a more clear picture of what's going on. And I think that makes the dialogue a lot stronger. So when you're going back to your own draft, first, just sort of review the dialogue rules. Look back through your dialogue to make sure that you have followed all of these rules. And then you can start thinking about leveling up. So start varying your dialogue tags. Move away from using said vary the position of the dialogue tags either before, in between, or after the dialogue. And then try to include a good mixture of dialogue, action, and reflection. And I think that will make your dialogue a lot stronger.